Good morning. We are excited to have the legendary Kathryn Leigh Scott. She is a veteran actress from the original cult classic Dark Shadows. Kathryn, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, sir. What a pleasure to be on your show.
Fans are excited about the Dark Shadows Remembrance Weekend, July 5th and 6th at the Los Angeles Marriott Burbank Airport. Why are you excited about it?
Well, I'm excited because it's the first time in 8 years that all of the Dark Shadows actors are going to get together. We celebrated our 50th anniversary, so that was the last time that we all saw each other. And I'm also I was very close to Laura Parker, who played the witch Angelique on Dark Shadows, and she passed away last October. So the first night of our event, Friday, July 5th, which is free and open to the public, we're going to be celebrating Laura's life. So it'll be a very poignant evening, and I'm just looking forward to being with my other cast members to celebrate her life.
Sounds like a touching tribute.
Yes, it will be. And then the following day, July 6th, we are going to be celebrating the 100th birthday of Jonathan Frid, who played vampire Barnabas Collins, which means that we're going to be celebrating the 100th birthday of the 200-year-old vampire. But he was such a wonderful man, and we all, four of us, Laura Parker, David Selby, and Jonathan Frid, and myself, all had cameo roles in the 2012 version of Dark Shadows, the film that Tim Burton did with Johnny Depp. So we're going to be showing a lot of vintage clips that day. There's also a lunch when we'll be serving vampire Cabernet wine, which is really wonderful, actually. And everybody who attends that day, and you do need registration for that event. There'll be autograph signings and some performances. David Selby and I are both performing at the after the lunch. And everybody who leaves will be carrying with them a very hefty gift bag full of Dark Shadows memorabilia.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
Yes, it's really fun. And for the second day, one does need to register. So tickets for that are available on Eventbrite at Dark Shadows Remembrance, which is easy to remember. Dark Shadows Remembrance.
You've been in a lot of movies and TV shows. Why does Dark Shadows hold a special place in your heart?
Oh, it was my very first job. I was fresh out of acting school, and I'd been working as a Playboy bunny at the New York Club, and I started auditioning for Dark Shadows, and then I got the job, and I called my mom to tell her that, and she said, "Wait a minute, that's a brand new job. I wouldn't give up your bunny job now. Wait to see if it's going to be a success." Well, we did 1,225 episodes, and it's still available. You can watch it on Prime, YouTube. It's never been off the air.
Awesome. So why was
So
Dark? Mhm.
of all of the things that I've done, even if I've done Star Trek and Space 1999 and Dynasty and there's so many of these television shows that are still on the air. But there's something about Dark Shadows that is really a fan favorite. And of course it was my first job, so of course it's special.
Well, it really feels like there was such a strong connection to the audience, maybe because of things that were going on in the world at that time, that the fans were able to really connect with the characters and the story.
So, we were sort of an anomaly for a daytime show. The others were real soap operas. We were in fact an anthology series. We borrowed from the great classics. I mean, the Picture of Dorian Gray, and of course, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, and Wuthering Heights, and all of these great stories. And we traveled. We traveled to different centuries. We all played multiple roles. So I think it's the reason why kids ran home to, from school to watch it. It was scary. It was fun, and it was a fantasy.
Definitely. Yeah, I was going to say it was ahead of its time. It was quite such a unique show that people have emulated and tried to capture years later.
That's right, and there's a very good chance that Dark Shadows will be back, resurrected, as we say. But there's a very good chance that the show will be coming back as a nighttime limited series, which would be wonderful. And some of us, of course, from the original show will probably be in it. We'll see what happens later this year.
Nice. And then, of course, not just the TV series, but I understand that there are books. There's like 27 of them, and that you had the opportunity to narrate them.
Right. It was wonderful. Marilyn Ross wrote actually 27 of these novels. And during the COVID epidemic, I was in a recording studio recording all 27 of them, which was wonderful. And then I've written several books on Dark Shadows myself, including Dark Shadows, Welcome to Return to Collinwood, and which is really the story of 5 decades of the show. But we have a huge fan base, which it seems to be growing with kids who are just now discovering the show and in reruns.
Now, with a lot of shows, there was as much drama behind the scene as there was in front of the camera. But I understand that you all were more unified and more worked together much better.
We were a very close-knit family. I think because we were all playing different roles, we functioned like a repertory company. Many of us had done a lot of theater, so we had a different kind of discipline, and we had our own little studio. So I think that kind of engendered that closeness, and we still feel it. So I'm not sure that isn't something that also fans pick up on. There's a warmth and a familiarity with the characters. I'm really proud to have been a part of it, and the fact that people 58 years later are still watching it.
Definitely, like you said earlier, shoot, not been a part of it, maybe still a part of it because with its potential future.
Oh yes, I mean I can't think of anything better than to close out a very long career going back to a show that I loved so much and revisiting that character that I played, all grown up. I was such a kid when we started on the show, and I was on the very first day of Dark Shadows playing Maggie Evans, this wisecracking waitress in 1966. To come back in 2024 and play Maggie, however she turned out in life, would be really wonderful.
That is awesome. Well, it has been a pleasure having you on, Kathryn. Before we let you go, where on social media, where on the web, where can we find out more about Dark Shadows Remembrance Weekend, and of course you?
Oh, well, if you go to Eventbrite, Dark Shadows Remembrance, you can sign up for the weekend. And if you go to my website, www.kathrynleightscott.com, you can also find out more about it and the other things that the Dark Shadows actors are doing. And if you have any questions about it, about the weekend, just go to dsweekendjuly2024@gmail.com. I know that's a mouthful, but it's dsweekendjuly2024@gmail.com.
Excellent. Well, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you for joining us.
But
That was really nice. Kathryn Leigh Scott from Dark Shadows. We discussed the Remembrance Weekend that they're going to be doing on July 5th and 6th. Of course, we also got to talk about her classic series, the movie, and potential for future content. So, for those fans of Dark Shadows, thank you for joining us today.